day she pushes me away. I don't see. Girl, put your tongue back in your mouth.
Thank you for driving down Wilshire with your heart and soul and me, Red Reporter.
No, no, no. Not with my child in the car. What up, what up? Beautiful sunny day in Southern California. People are pulling out of their driveways as oncoming traffic is barreling down the street like they're not supposed to. Good thing I have great situational awareness. Speaking of that, today I'm going to talk about the children and how important they are. And I'm going to talk about the era that we live in now, which is the era of the child predator. Now, child predators come in many forms. You know, not just in the form of one who wants to commit inappropriate acts with them, but also in the form of what they're watching on TV, what the doctors are doing when you take them to the doctor. Many forms, many forms. Um, but what I would like to touch on first are the people who defend and support and protect child predators. Namely, the predators that, you know, prey on children in an inappropriate manner, like who wants to do inappropriate things with them. So, and right now I have 3 of my babies in the car with me, and I would protect them with my life. I'd kill for them. But most importantly, I'll live for them. So, in the act of killing for them, I will ensure that I survive. So, but if need be, I would give my life. But good luck with that. Good luck with that. At the end of the day, I have to make sure that no one can do anything to them harmful. And right now I'm taking them to their class known as Mastery Quest, where they do lots of fun things outdoors. They take off their shoes, they get grounded playing in the earth. Their teachers are great. They're not really teachers, they're coaches. What do you call them?
We call them Amanda and Coach.
Amanda and Kojo, but what do you call them? What's their title?
They're like we mostly call them names.
You can look at the camera, baby. What do you say? You mostly call them what?
We mostly call them names.
We mostly, see? They're not, they don't have any fancy titles. But they're only there for 4 hours, 4.5 hours. And I have to, it's hard to, you know, get things done in between that time, but it is what it is. So, you guys want to say hi?
Hi.
What about you, baby? And the cat?
And kiss Wavy.
This right here, man. They're the future. They're gonna take care of me when I'm old. Come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do lots of sweet things for me. They fill up my water. They bathe their little sister and their little brother. They help bathe them. They really are mature for their age. And they have lots of responsibility, but not too much for them to handle. So, and that's really the important thing. Because nothing you get in life is free. And they understand that. Right. Huh, babies?
Yeah.
Is anything in life free?
No, except for movement.
Movement?
Yeah, like laughing.
Okay, so movement is free. But that still costs, right? Because you use energy. You need energy to move. So you spend energy to move about. But you know, that's another discussion for another day. So what about these protectors of child predators? Well, they make excuses for them. You know, they make excuses for child predators who prey on children's innocence. I'll say innocence. They're innocents. So, you know, there's this age thing that people want to throw around. You know, oh, 15, 12, 14, 13, you know what you're doing, you know better. And that's complete BS. So when you hear people say that, you don't, if I hear a person say that, I don't want them around my children. If you say that 14, 15, 16, 17, they know what they're doing, and the predator is in their 20s, in their 30s, no, that ain't cool. Nope. So keep your hands to yourself, right? So, but you know, these people, these defenders of this predatorial behavior, they're as bad as a predator themselves, and they might themselves be a predator. So that I always look for that. Those are red flags. I don't get down with people like that. So, and I'm going to jump into some specific examples of predator defenders. All right. So the other day, I'm watching State of the Culture, and you know they're talking about. I think no, that was last week. Last week they're talking. I was watching State of the Culture, and R. Kelly comes up, and you know Joe Budden is there, Scotty Beam is there, Jinx is there, and Remy Ma is there, and they all make good points except for when it comes to Remy Ma, who always tries to act like she's the voice of reason among the panel. She's the most logical, rational, and all that stuff. But in trying to play that role, and trying so hard to play that role, she's committing treason against her people. She's committed treason against the children because of the comments she made in regards to R. Kelly's innocence or guilt. You know, she throws the responsibility on the kid, saying that, oh, a 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old, you know, they might like the idea of messing with this older man. You know, and she was talking about the 14-year-old girl that R. Kelly had sprinkled on, you know, most viciously and disgustingly. So, you know, and that goes to what I was talking about when I was saying that some idiots run around talking about, oh, you know what you're doing when you're 14, you know what you're doing when you're 13. Like, shut up, man. I keep having to say that. No, they don't know what they're doing. All right? You ever had a discussion with children that age, you'll understand that. So, Remy Ma is saying, how do you fight? Your kid wants to do this with a grown man. How do you fight that? You know, because she's going to want to do what she wants to do. Well, in the first place, she shouldn't be placed in the position to make that choice. Meaning that this grown man should not have even come on to her to where she would have to make that decision. So that's where it starts and ends. Like, that's all the responsibility, all the onus is on that grown man not to behave in that manner, not to force that decision onto a child. So there's that. You know, it's just ridiculous. And then she's talking about other things, that other videos that he had done some stuff to a young woman, and a rapist wouldn't do that. You know, I haven't seen a rapist do that. Well, obviously that young woman was consenting, and she might have been older. She might have been of age. So what does that have to do with what he did with the 14-year-old? Get that road. And even if it wasn't rape, it's still statutory rape, which is still a form of rape, because what you're doing is you're forcing yourself on a child in a slick way to when you have no right to force that decision on them. So that's what you're doing. You're forcing yourself onto a child who may eventually consent, but it's still rape because You push their innocence to the side. You push their growth to the side. You took you took away their room to grow. That's the issue. It's still rape. So, you know, Remy Ma, and then she's defending Bill Cosby, like, not the fact, not saying that he's innocent. Like, if he's innocent, he's innocent. If he's guilty, he's guilty. But from what she understood that some of these 50 plus women might have been telling the truth. But then because, some of them might be lying, then, you know, he shouldn't be treated in such a manner or whatever. Complete utter nonsense. The things that comes out of her fool ass mouth, trying to sound intelligent and rational and all this stuff, and people eat this stuff up, man. Oh, Remy Ma is, she's the voice of reason and she's so calm. Remy Ma is a sociopath, first of all right? That's why she's calm. I know what a sociopath looks like. And her moral ground is non-existent as far as I'm concerned. I feel like, you know, she had a daughter who at some point was in her teenage years, or probably still is. If a cat in their 30s or 20s and her daughter is 15 or 16, let's say, she would not be happy about that if he tried to date her daughter. And even if she wanted to, like, she would shut it down. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. She's full of crap. All right. So if you can't apply a philosophy to your own situation, then that philosophy is BS. That you're using to argue a point, but it's not a philosophy that you practice, which means that you're full of crap. Remy Ma, you're full of crap. All right. So let's say that. So that's one defender of predators. And then you have the many hundreds of people that agree with her, that are running around in this world, men and women alike, who have the same thinking process. It's ridiculous. So an 11 or 12 or 13-year-old may be somewhat precocious and has some sense. So what? What does that mean? So what? They might have some sense, but emotionally, and this is what we have to think about. Emotionally and socially, they are still immature. I don't care if they can recite poems. I don't care if they're creative. I don't care if they know how to draw. I don't care if they go to MIT when they're 12 years old. I don't care about any of that. I'm talking about emotionally. And people love to dismiss emotion. Oh, you shouldn't be emotional and blah, blah, the blue blow. Like, well, guess what? Emotion exists. And children have every right to be emotional. They have every right. So you can't apply your, if you, let's say you weren't an emotional child, Remy Ma. So what? That was you. That was you. Not my babies. My babies are emotional. And they feel, they love, they're sensitive. My babies are all sensitive. All my children. You know? And I know that. I know my oldest is 8 years old. In 4 years, she's still going to be sensitive and emotional and sweet and kind, and she's just that type of person. And she's smart. She tests on a grade level higher than the one she's in, or supposed to be in. You know, she's smart. But that doesn't mean that she can go out and handle a relationship and get married and have, you know, that doesn't mean that she can handle that. She shouldn't have to be put in the position to have to do that. Leave my babies alone. Leave all the babies alone. Seriously. Another big example of predator defense is with the Africa Bambaataa situation. I've never seen. It's ridiculous. Like, you know what? If you want to know where a person stands, let a famous person they love do some crazy crap and see where they fall. And whatever side they fall on, that's how they think. You know, Africa Bambaataa, for 40 years, from what I understand, has been known to and accused of being a child predator of little boys specifically within his neighborhood in the Bronx. And he victimized many children. He victimized many children. And some of them are gangsters. Some of them are street dudes. Like Hassan Campbell. Shout out to Hassan Campbell. Some of them are street dudes who have done things for the Zulu Nation and all that other stuff. So Ron Savage and Hassan Campbell come out to blow it wide open, and other witnesses and victims come out and speak on it. And he gets stabbed up by a little boy, by a young man who he had assaulted. So instead of trying to understand the plight of a victim in situations like this, people ask stupid questions like, oh, why didn't you come out about this earlier? Why didn't you say this? Why didn't you say that? And they know better, because these people that defend this behavior and ask these questions have probably done the very thing that they're defending of the person. That's the only way I can see it. So they probably did that or participated or did something of their own, and they're concerned that something might come out against them. So they try to push this narrative where specifically Hassan Campbell was grown at 12 years old, 13 years old, 14 years old, 15 years old, whatever the case may be, and Ron Savage was grown as a teenager. They were not grown. They were not. They were impressionable young boys, little boys. You know, most people don't mature into real life adulthood. I'm not talking about legal adulthood. I'm talking about where they get their stuff together and they're mentally, emotionally, financially, and socially secure in themselves, and they are the person they're going to be for the rest of their lives. That's around age 25, typically, on average. So you're talking about a 25-year-old barely got his feet on the ground in terms of maturity on many levels. So, because by then they have experienced relationships, they've been heartbroken, they've been broke and came back up. They decided politically and socially what type of people they're going to be, who they're going to support. You know, they have their moral views by then. They have been socially engineered by whoever they gravitated toward and whatever they gravitate towards. We're talking about the 25-year-old. And it really is just a women. Women typically mature at that age. It takes men a few years longer. So, I'm sorry. 12, 13, 14, 15, they don't know what they're doing. They're not grown. I don't care if they can't pick up a gun and go out and shoot someone. I don't care. I don't care if they can push packs and learn how to cook. And I don't care. They shouldn't be doing that in the first place. Whoever put them in that position, that was wrong. So it's all wrong. Just because they're doing that doesn't mean that some grown man can do something to them that shouldn't be done. So let's throw that BS out the window and be logical. So you guys like to act like you're logical when you defend these perverts. But really you're being illogical, immoral, and disgusting and nasty. And I love it when you guys put yourselves out there. Remy Ma, Sonetta, Polite and the Loafers, all you cats that run around talking about, oh, you the grown-ass man. Oh, he was the boyfriend. Shut up. Shut up. You don't, you can't, not boyfriend. Not at that age. Victim. That's what it is. You people like to talk about, oh, don't be a victim. Oh, don't be, why are we going to be the victim? Black people are always the victim. You're retarded. When you're victimized, you're a victim. When people do things to you they're not supposed to do against your will to harm you, you are a victim. Period. Now, how you come out of that is up to you. You can become a survivor. You can survive a situation and learn from it and turn it around and apply it in a positive manner. Or you can get that get back. If you get that get back and you reciprocate, you were still a victim, you just, turned your victimhood onto that person. You applied it to the victimizer. But you were still a victim, even if you got your just revenge. So, listen, man, stop defending child predator like when you do that. You do. But this, like I said, this is the era of child predators. It's running rampant. People are becoming more and more open about their predatory behavior when it comes to children. What other aspects of child predatorial behavior is out there that is dominant? Well, you have the doctors, and they get defended for sure. They get defended by the government. Speaking of the government, in terms of child predators who seek and destroy innocence of children, why is it that a person who gets caught with a gun, and let's say the gun is legal, the gun is in your car, and it's supposed to be in the trunk, and the cops pull you over, and for some reason decide to search your car illegally, right? Because it was a traffic stop, so they shouldn't be searching your car. That's one thing people need to understand. But they find a gun, you get, sentenced to however long, or it's an illegal gun and you get sentenced for so many years. And let's say you were on probation or you were on parole, you're gonna get a long time. But a child predator of a child's innocence, they'll get probation, they'll get maybe like 1 or 2 months in prison or in jail, and then they're getting released, and they have to go on a registry. Well, that's a problem. But someone with an ounce of drugs can get 20 years? Stuff is backwards, man. You go on this registry, And if you go look at it, Megan's Law, I think, the one with the registry. You go look at it in your neighborhood. I looked at it in my neighborhood. I saw hundreds of these people in the vicinity of my house. Now, you know, sometimes you can be put on that registry for, like, let's say you had to really go really bad and take a piss real bad. You know, you might get caught and they can put you on the registry for that. But come on. It's not a high percentage. Don't, you know, people try to act like it might be, but come on. So it's, and that's a way that the courts protect predators. And you want to know why? Because there are so many predators in government. Congress people, senators, you know, cabinet members, police officers, FBI agents, all these people.
Papa, we're almost here.
I know.
We are here.
We are here. So, anyway, I'm gonna take my babies to class, and I'll come right back at you to continue this discussion, because it ain't over yet. Far from over. Say bye.
Bye.
Say bye.
Bye.
Happy babies.
Bye.
Does Baba protect you?
Yeah.
All right. I'll be right back at y'all.